next up is going to be one of the games that I've had in my library for a long time that I'm super excited about. Let me change up my OBS thingies here. Next is going to be To Be or Not To Be, and it is a really fun game that originally started as a Kickstarter project by a guy named Ryan North. It was a Kickstarter project back in 2002, and its goal of $20,000 was reached in 3.5 hours. And similar to the old Choose Your Adventure books that you might have read as kids, it's an idea where it takes Shakespeare's play and gives you options to go through different storylines, even if it wasn't the original Shakespearean play. I know, getting excited with some Shakespeare. So you can play as 3 different characters: Hamlet, Ophelia, or Hamlet Sr., the King of Denmark. And the story branches so often going on and off of the plot from the original play that you can reach 110 different endings, which I personally think is really exciting. It's very, very tongue-in-cheek humor, very funny, and there's a few artists on the project. One of them is a lady called Kate Beaton. If you haven't heard of her, she owns and runs a webcomic called Hark a Vagrant. This is my favorite comic from that. Every time I read it, I laugh, so I definitely recommend that you check her out. She's really funny. It's kind of like a satirical comics about history. So in this, she was making fun of Hamlet actor, someone, what was it? I forget his name, but anyway, check it out. It's really fun. So the project started as a book. It did get funded, and everyone got sent their copies, but then in 2015, it was developed by Tin Man Games and is now a game. I guess like a game version of the Choose Your Adventure book. So I actually didn't fund it. I was really sad. It got funded before I could get to it, so I don't have the physical copy, but I was so excited to see that it was on Steam. And we're gonna check it out. We're gonna check it out together. It's gonna be fun. So let's get that started. To be or not to be? Alright. Some nice Shakespearean music to start us off. So excited! If anyone can come up with a good Shakespearean pun, I'll title it. I mean, you could call it Alas Poor York. I should have worn, I have a zombie shirt, I should have worn that today. You can shake my spear. My life was a lie. I guess I'll keep using my controller since it's plugged in. But I have a zombie shirt with a picture of Shakespeare as a zombie, and on the bottom it says, Alas Poor York, I ate his brains. Definitely missed an opportunity today. So guys, would we like to enable narration? I did check it out. The narration it's okay. It could be better. It could be funnier. Or I can read it. Your choice. I'm gonna let you decide. No, I don't think it's from Shakespeare. Shakespeare is one of those things in school that I never had a problem with, but a lot of my classmates didn't seem to understand it. But Shakespeare has so much humor, if you know what he's saying. You be playing mind games. We have a yes from Doggy, yes for Acorn Reading. Alright, well, we have 2 votes, so we're going to go with that. You can always turn it on later if you just get sick of hearing me talk. Alright, To Be or Not To Be. This is the, I think that's... No, I don't actually, never mind, forget it. I was gonna say, I think that's Kate Beaton stuff. Her art, but I don't think so. A couple people worked on it. Alright, William Shakespeare, 1564 AD to whenever he died, was well known for borrowing from existing literature when writing his plays. Romeo and Juliet is pretty much lifted entirely from Arthur Brooks' poem, The Tragical History of Romeo and Juliet. Dude didn't even change the names. And as recent Shakespeare scholarship has established, the famed play William Shakespeare Presents Hamlet was lifted wholesale from the volume you are about to enjoy, To Be or Not To Be. To Be or Not To Be is both the earliest recorded example of the books as games genre, as well as the first instance ever in the then newish English language that was kicking around of an adventure being chosen by you, the reader. We've gone ahead and added illustrations, plus we've taken the liberty of marking with tiny York skulls the choices Shakespeare himself made when he plagiarized this book back in olden times. So yeah, when we go through and make decisions, guys, little skulls on the side, the ones that we choose that have a skull means it comes from the play itself. So, for instance, you know, Ophelia in this might be a mad scientist who can make like a potion for time travel, but it's not going to be necessarily from the original play. However, she might collect flowers and go swimming in the lake, or river, I think it was. They look like this. Super cute. They're there just in case you wish to put yourself in Shakespeare's shoes, reading this book as he did, stealing plot elements wholesale, and classing up the language as he/you went/go. However, that is not the only way to read this book. Feel free to explore your other options, as each time you read this book you can go on a different adventure. 110 different endings, guys. I don't know about you, but I'm psyched about that. I want to play this for all 110 endings. Assuming you don't read the book, what is that, 3 trillion? I don't even know, 3 quadrillion times? At which point the adventures will start to repeat, and they'll probably seem pretty familiar long before then anyway. Now take yourself back to history, when ghosts walked the earth and nobody knew velociraptors were ever even a thing. Sad. Still yourself to experience the magic of Shakespeare as it was meant to be experienced, in a non-deterministic narrative structure where you end up thinking maybe you made a wrong decision. So you mark the pages you were just on so you can always go back and make a different decision if you die for some dumb reason. To be or not to be, that is the adventure. Ryan North. Noted Shakespeare scholar / enthusiast. So, man, what if I just read the acknowledgements instead? You can't tell me what to do, smart guy. I'm just gonna keep reading. Which choice, guys? This is where it gets interesting. Chat, please. Help me make decisions. Should we choose our character and go the original route, or should we choose one of the more snarky options below? Like I said before, we have 3 options for the characters. Maybe play as Hamlet, Ophelia, or Hamlet's dad, the king. I'm kind of leaning towards Ophelia, personally, because she sounds like a badass in this game. It's up to you guys. Alrighty, so when those are overshadowing my voice, we're going to change that a little bit. That should be better, right? Do we need a vote system set up? I can do that. Depends on how many people are in chat who are actually wanting to interact. Yeah, probably. Well, let's make it easy. Let's do a vote system for choose character. Yep, there you go, Quay. Like you said. You've just been born. Congratulations. Good work on that thing. You did. Now, surprise! Babies are boring, so we're going to jump ahead in time to a point where you're an adult and you've already lived a bunch of your life. But I promise, most of what we're skipping over was really dull. You ate a lot and slept a lot and made some friends, tears were shed, makeouts were totally had, etc. It was a bunch of high school stuff. The awesome stuff starts now. So let us begin, my friend. Remind me again who you are? Alright, so guys, here are our options. Ophelia. She's an awesome lady in her late 20s with a calm, competent, and resourceful demeanor. She's got a +1 bonus to science, but she's also a -1 weakness against water, so heads up. This is going to make me want to read Hamlet again. Now these character portraits, these are from Kate Beaton. He's an emo teen in his early 30s. Also, he's a prince of Denmark, so there's that. Hamlet has a +1 resistance to magic, but there's no magic in this adventure, so that never gets mentioned again as of right now. And then Hamlet Senior. Look at that fierceness. I think he looks like a Monty Python character. He's a king of Denmark, 50 years old. He's super good at fighting and leading men into battle and naps. Let's say +1 to each. Look, bottom line, he's an unstoppable machine of death. You should probably choose to be him. You may experience kingly glory. Alright guys, so put your votes into chat. That's really cool. I didn't know you could do that. Guys, you're so advanced. Apparently we can vote in chat. So you have Ophelia, Hamlet, and Old Hamlet. Hamlet Senior. We got a couple for Hamlet. One for Ophelia. The anticipation is mounting. Hello, Thrak, welcome back. Okay. Hamlet won with 4 votes. Let's go with Hamlet, guys. We're gonna follow Shakespeare's shoes. Follow his steps. And to be he, you chose to play as Hamlet. Velociraptors, guys. Achievement to get. Alright. You are Hamlet. You are 30 years old and you're back living at home. But it's okay, because your home is a castle. That's right, ladies, you're a prince. Things have been rough lately. You've been trying to focus on your studies at Wittenberg University, where you and your bros, Horatio, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern all hang out. But you were called home because your father died. Then your dead dad's brother, Claudius, married your mom, Gertrude, 2 weeks later. Yep. It's made you kind of upset. You reached home to comfort her and she's married your uncle, and that's weird. You feel weird. Right now you're in the audience chamber of your father's castle here in sunny Denmark. King Claudius is here addressing his court. You know, your uncle. Laertes and Polonius are here too. Laertes is kind of a jerk and Polonius is his father. Polonius is also the father of Ophelia, whom you're totally sweet on. She's not here though. Who knows what adventure she's having as we speak while you're stuck in this drafty castle room listening to other people talk about their feelings. Speaking of speaking, just now Laertes says something about how now that Claudius is king and he's attended the coronation, it is okay for him to go back to France. Claudius says sure. Wait a minute, you'd love to leave too and go back to school, away from this weird incesty thing your mother's gotten herself into. It's so gross and weird. Wherefore? What shall we do? Some say that ever against that season comes wherein our Saviour's birth is celebrated. This bird of dawning singeth all night long, and then they say, no spirit dares stir abroad. The nights are wholesome, then no planets strike, no fairy tales, nor witch hath power to charm, so hallowed and so gracious is the time. What are you quoting, doggy? Is this Hamlet? Is this your favorite quote from Hamlet? So I think for the sake of not having, I think Valinor, you did it, right? Yeah, Valinor, to have you not have to make a poll for every single thing, let's have the polls for really big decisions. So I think, let's follow Shakespeare for now. You know, your uncle. I'm ad-libbing a little bit. I'm taking liberties. You hold up your hand and open your mouth, but before you can say anything, Claudius addresses you directly, calling you his son. On the one hand, that's entirely appropriate, especially since he just got married. You just married your mom like 2 weeks ago. But on the other hand, he has brought creepy uncle to a new heights. Creepy uncle points. Points for that, maybe? Wherefore? Say, you're not my real dad, and storm out of the room. Or insult him under your breath by saying you're more than kin, i.e., you're related more than once now, as both father/son and uncle/nephew, but less than kind, i.e., this relationship you're in is unnatural. In real life, people think up zingers like this on the spot all the time, so that totally makes sense. That's the thing about Shakespeare I love so much. The witty repartee and the witty comebacks, I wish I could do that in real life. For fun, let's do that. You're not my real dad, and storm out of the room. While you're busy doing that, your friend Horatio bumps into you and tells you, A, he's in town for your dad's funeral/mom's wedding, and they served leftover appetizers from one at the other. And also, ghosts are real. Lastly, he's seen one, and so have a bunch of other guys. So, D, it keeps showing up at the same time. And E, he's pretty sure it's the ghost of your dad. Finally, some adventure! Some closure! You agree that you'll come with him tonight to see the ghost when it shows up again. It's such an obvious decision that it kind of feels like you don't even have a choice in the matter. So wherefore? Agreed to go with Horatio tonight to see the ghost when it shows up again. Absolutely. I'll be there at 11:30 sharp, you say, and Horatio leaves, satisfied. Well, now you have 8 hours to blow before it's time to meet ghosts. What do you want to do, Hamlet? Play solitaire or be Ophelia for a while? You know what? Let's be Ophelia for a while. To be she! We chose to play Ophelia. Such nice music. Of a time when Europeans were stinky as fuck. I know. I was a little appalled to learn in school that it was lucky for someone to bathe themselves once a month. I can't imagine. Right, you're Ophelia. You're a beautiful and independent young woman, and although it makes you roll your eyes when you think about it, you've fallen in love with a prince. Also, let's just note that there's some really, like, romantic piano music in the background right now. Look at that. Oh, we're so attractive. Prince Hamlet is funny and charming, and he seems to like you a lot. You try not to get too excited about it because you're worried you might jinx it, but things really are going great. Only it's been hard doing the long-distance thing while you've both been off at university. And while you've loved studying capital S science, and you're sure Hamlet's loved studying capital U undeclared, it hasn't been easy. Oh, of course he would have been undeclared. Now that you're both back together in Denmark for his father's funeral and his mother's second wedding, it's been harder still. Hamlet's really sad, and you can't blame him for that since, you know, his dad died, but you wish there was something you could do to help him. When you last saw him, Hamlet mentioned how the castle seemed cold and drafty, and for some reason it stuck with you. You've been sitting at your desk, trying to think of something you could give him that would help with that. A way of cheering him up a little, remind him he's still got people who care about him. He wears these cloaks all the times, but then he's taking them off in warm rooms and putting them back on in cold ones. If only there was some way you could keep the rooms at a uniform temperature, he wouldn't need to be constantly adjusting his clothes throughout the day. But to do that, you'd need a way of measuring heat and a way of transporting it throughout the castle, perhaps through a series of pipes. Your thoughts are interrupted by a knock at your door. Who is it? You call. It's me, says your brother. Come on, let me in. No wonder the Black Plague wrecked most of Europe. Pretty much. Let him in or tell him you're busy. Well, you know, we were doing this thing for him, so let's maybe chat about it. You open the door for your brother. You can come in, you say. But I don't want to hear any opinions about my personal luck. If you sleep with Hamlet, you're a slut, he says. Oh god. Slam the door in his face. Bam! That felt good. Laertes shouts at the door that he's sorry and just wanted to say goodbye before he left for France, but when you open the door a crack, he sticks his head in and says, I'm just saying, have sex with them and you're damaged goods. You slam the door in his face again, barely missing his nose. You shout through the door that if you're damaged goods, he's an entire shelf of unsellable eggs that went off weeks ago. And also, as your brother, he's got an entirely unhealthy interest in your sex life. Nuh-uh, you're unhealthy, Laertes shouts in return, and then you hear him stomp away down the hall. What a jerk. And his retorts don't even make sense. Well, sleep with Hamlet. Return to desk. At your desk, you continue your work on the problem of automatically heating the castle. Hours turn into days, and you're generally left alone by both your family and your boyfriend. Your father ignoring you is no big deal, and while you're a little worried about Hamlet not stopping by more often, he has asked you to leave him alone for a while he mourns, and you're respecting his wishes. But if you're going to be honest with yourself, you've also just gotten really absorbed in this problem. You decide to split the problem into sections, delivering heat and knowing when to deliver heat. It would be possible to put servants in every room and have them report when it's too cold, but that's both expensive and unreliable. It depends on the servant, how warm of their clothes, how much they love to lie to people about what temperature their skin is sensing, and so on. You're wandering in the castle grounds when it hits you. You've been thinking about how water expands when it freezes and how that could be used to tell you when it's cold, but it's not much for measuring temperatures outside the freezing point. I really appreciate how intelligent Ophelia is. Your father Polonius happens to wander by, talking to himself about the evils of drink, and you realize alcohol! The right alcohol would expand linearly with heat, and by putting it in slender glass vials, you can measure the size of that liquid, which would correspond one-to-one with temperature. Put the same markings on each of these glass vials at the same temperature, and you've got a universal, comparable, and consistent way of measuring heat. You wouldn't have to rely on the servant's impression. They could just tell you when the line of alcohol has reached. You run back to your room to start working on the prototype. Just as you complete it, you hear a knock at your door. Who is it? You call. And oh my, who should answer from the other side of the door? Hamlet? Seriously, who should answer from the other side of the door? Your boyfriend Hamlet, of course, except your best friend, wow, that name. Dramisiomius? Omimus? before incest. Let's do Hamlet. Let's have fun. Hashtag mind control. Control reality using Ophelia's thoughts. You decide you want Hamlet to be on the other side of the door, open it, and Hamlet really is at the other side of the door. That's so freaky. How'd you do that? Hamlet steps into your room. You haven't seen each other for a while. It's so weird to see him. You run up and throw your arms around him and you kiss. It's just like old times. But the moment passes when you look at his face, you can see concern written all over it. He is troubled by something. Ask him what's troubling him. You know, all the obvious things. You know, his dad being dead, his uncle being his new dad. Them serving the funeral food at the wedding, you know, awkward all over. What's his name again? I wonder what would be the reaction of a person from that time who brought him in our present day. Probably a heart attack and mental collapse, doggy. That'd be my guess. You ask him what's wrong and, well, there's no other way to put this, so I'll give it to you straight. Hamlet tells you about a spooky ghost and a plan for murdering his stepfather Claudius, pretender to the throne. I'll be frank, it sounds crazy. A ghost? Murder? But he is your friend and lover and you're not going to leave him hanging out to dry. As gently as you can, you tell him you're pretty sure ghosts don't exist, but even if they do, he needs to be certain that the ghost he saw was actually the ghost of his father. What if it was some other ghost trying to mess things up? Never know. That seems to give him pause. Hamlet admits he never actually asked the ghost for information only his dad would know. It's possible the ghost could be an imposter. I'll come with you tonight, sweetie, you say. We'll go together, and if a ghost shows up, we'll figure out what to do. You're confident no ghost will appear and that this will all just go away. You take his hand and squeeze. Hamlet looks up at you. You can see his relief. Okay, he says, smiling. What do? Go to see the ghost that evening. Absolutely. Alright guys, it's showtime. Evening comes, and Hamlet leads you to the spot outside where he first saw the ghost. We have to wait till around midnight, he says. I think that's when he normally shows up. To pass the time, you play a storytelling game you enjoy, where you say one word of a story and he says the next word, and neither of you know where the story will go. Once, you begin. Upon, he says. A, you say. Time, he says. There, you say. Was, he says. A, you say. Beautiful, he says, looking at you. You smile. Prince, you reply, and he smiles back. Who, he says, wanted to kiss his girlfriend. That's cheating, you say, and then you're kissing. Make out for a while, or don't make out because you can't believe you're thinking this. What if a ghost catches you making out? There's that. You turn your head away after a few smooches. That's enough, you say. We don't want your dad catching us making out. Hamlet grins and pulls you close to him. I think he'd be cool with it, he says. Whoa, Hamlet. That's a weird thing to say, but you excuse it because you know people can say some really weird things when they're way horny. You kiss some more, but finally push him away for real this time. What makes you think he wants to spend the afterlife watching us make out, you say? Well, it's what I'd want to do, he says with a smile. I mean, if it were me and I was also the ghost, he explains. You're about to reply when you're interrupted by an awkward cough coming from above you? Looking up, you see what for all the world looks like Hamlet's dad, Hamlet Sr., only he's transparent and floating and you can see through his bod. Hey guys, the ghost says. You're too shocked to say anything. Ghosts are real, Ophelia, surprise! Hamlet looks up at the ghost and waves. Hi, Dad, he says. Demand the ghost prove to be who he claims to be, or it doesn't matter who he is. The real question is, if this ghost is so big into murdering dudes, why doesn't he just murder Claudius himself? Riddle him that. You know, let's be sure. Let's cover all our bases. Excuse me, you say. The ghost pretends not to hear you. Excuse me, Mr. Ghost? You inquire, raising your hand. Sup, says the ghost. How do we know you're really Hamlet Sr., you ask? Oh, says the ghost. I guess ask me some things only Hamlet's dad would know. So you do. They're pretty boring questions about family junk. You're not missing out on anything by me including them here, but the ghost answers them perfectly. Better still, he answers them as only Hamlet Sr. could answer them, and even makes a reference to a running joke you had a few months ago. I can't gobble this, says the ghost, and then together the two of you shout, It's too spicy! And then you're laughing just like like what you just said is the funniest thing ever in time. I don't get it. I guess you had to be there. Anyway, this is totally the identity of Hamlet's dad. Identity confirmed. So we talk about the murder. You go over the basics of the murder plot with a ghost and Hamlet, and surprise, you see some flaws in it that Hamlet somehow missed. So, Hamlet is supposed to murder Claudius, you say. Yes, Hamlet said, and the ghosts reply in unison. Then they notice they replied in unison and fist bump each other. Bros. Well, the ghost fist goes through Hamlet's fist and stops a little inside it, but you can see that what they were going for. And then Claudius will be dead and Hamlet will be king, you say. Yes, Hamlet and the ghost reply in unison again. And then they fist bump each other again, and it's even more off this time. They're not even aligned horizontally with each other. Come on, guys. So what's to prevent Claudius from becoming a ghost and seeking its own revenge, you say, raising one eyebrow? Says the ghost. In fact, can ghosts kill each other? Because then the best case for us is that one of you ghost kills the other and then considers himself revenged. Like, whoa. Ophelia's asking all the right questions. They're not ready for this. Worst case is that you can't kill each other but instead exist as ghosts forever, which means that the two of you, each with an endless list of sins from long before anyone left alive was born, will continue to meddle in the living world, avenging yourself against one another, back and forth for millennia to come. Oh, I think the ghost begins, and then coughs. No, yeah, I think you only become a ghost under certain circumstances. Like being murdered when you still have things you want to complete on this mortal plane, you ask? Oh, right, that applied to Claudius too, the ghost says. Huh. So what now? I know who I'm calling to read me a bedtime story when I need one. Doggyfoot looks at Acorn. Is this fun? I hope it's fun. So continue talking to the ghost out of murder, or make a counter-argument for murder being a good idea. Let's talk him out of it, because we know Hamlet's just gonna go for it. We'll cover one of them. Even if we take all the ghost creation issues out of the equation you go on, there's still the matter of revenge on its own not being an ethical act. Not to mention the complicated issues surrounding vigilante capital punishment, the ghost says. Exactly. I'm sorry, Ghost King Hamlet, but I don't think this is a super rad idea, you say. Prince Hamlet nods in agreement. He's just trying to get with Ophelia. He's like, yes. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, well, do what you can to punish him for my murder, though. Cool? The ghost says. You agree to work to uncover proof of the murder, and then work within the legal system to achieve a fair punishment for Claudius. Sounds reasonable, says the ghost. Alright, I guess I'm out. Thanks for the talk. I found it really useful. You and Hamlet do some legwork and track down where Claudius got the poison. The poison monger identifies Claudius in a lineup. Even though he's the king, Claudius is not above the law, and the case goes to court. The prosecution has no witnesses to the actual murder, but means, motive, opportunity, and tons of circumstantial evidence. Claudius is found guilty of regicide and sentenced to 30 years in prison. He's sent to Verona, where he won't get any special treatment from the two gentlemen drafted to guard his cell. Hamlet's father is still dead, and this won't bring him back, but on the other hand, he's also a ghost, so you can talk to him at night. It's a pretty fair verdict, measure for measure. 100 out of 100 legal justice points. So, turns out you scored a possible 100 out of 100 in legal justice points. Plus 3 adventure points. But unfortunately, you only got like 3 in adventure points. Man, that's baloney. That's what you get for working within the pre-existing legal system instead of employing unpredictable vigilante adventures. Am I right? The end. Awesome, so that was an actual ending. We got there pretty quickly. Love that picture. That's awesome. Ah, Verona, such a nice city. The music is in the game, it does. It works good with the reading. Excellent. Wait. There we go. Congratulations, you found a piece of artwork. View it at any time in the art gallery under extras from the pause menu. Sweet! It's time for the Hamlometer! Oh boy! Let's do... Oh, it's gonna roll for us. Not to be. What do we win? A nice vacation summer trip to Verona, right? Game over. Your stats is adventure. Fist bumped, 2. Choices made, 18. Times you were, 1. Times you were not, 0. Games of tennis played, 0. Congratulations, you created a better story than Shakespeare. Why not use your limitless power to go on an all-new adventure? Let's do, restart the adventure from someone else. Alright, let's do... Probably have enough time for one more adventure. Should we pick a completely different person now? Or should we go with Hamlet, but make different decisions and see where we end up? We're gonna go through this while we decide, because we already read through this. Oh, you know what? There we go. Choose your character. Want to vote? Do we want to vote? We also could be, you know, Hamlet Sr., who's like a certified badass, from what we've been told. Yeah, let's be Hamlet Sr. No vote required, Valinor. We'll play Hamlet Sr. The big man. You are King Hamlet. All of Denmark is under your command. Everything's going so great for you. At present, you are in Norway, where just this afternoon you led Denmark's forces to an astounding victory during which you personally killed the Norwegian king. Stabbed him right through the head, you did. His eye popped out and rolled on the ground, and then you stepped on it. Whoa, your ass is bad. You are a bad ass. You decide after a day of being good at fighting you should have a nap. You've earned it. You settle down in an orchard for some nappy times. During your delightful rest, your brother pours some poison in your ear and you die. Congratulations, achievement yet, not to be. We should do an Ophelia run? If we have time, I think we should do all three. Surprise! You didn't know poisons work that way. Haha, wow. You've barely made one choice so far and you're dead already. Way to go, champ. You're really good at books, huh? It's just a stellar job. You're doing reading your chuckles. Wait, what? That's it? Oh my god. Really, that's an ending. Okay, fine. I feel sorry for you. Here's a choice you can choose. Oh man, become a ghost, of course. More fun that way. Good news. The afterlife exists, and it's full of ghosts. You know this because you're now one of them. Well, right. You get to spend all your time slamming doors, rattling chains, and telling on the person who killed you. But here's the thing. I, the author, told you, the reader, that your brother poured poison in your ear while you napped. But you, as Hamlet Sr., have no idea how you died. You slept through the whole thing. So you need to figure out who killed you if you're going to revenge yourself on your murderer, assuming you even were murdered. Because remember that, for all you know, you could have died of a heart attack. This is an example of dramatic irony, only since we're in the second person. It's an amazing example of an entirely new species of dramatic irony. Something I'm going to call second person pronoun paradoxical autodramatic irony. You're now aware of information that you're not aware of. This should be fun! Congratulations, this should be fun. Invent a new kind of irony. Now as a ghost to go spy on everyone while they're having sexy time. You know he does. I bet he does. Alright, we're going to listen in on people's conversations and see if any of them talk about how they totally killed you. That's how we find out, doggy. You hang around Norway for a bit, trying to listen in on what people are saying, but they're all speaking Norwegian. You only speak Danish, so understanding Norwegian is a little difficult. It all sounds like Swedish to you. Which actually makes a lot of sense since Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish are all related North Germanic languages, descended from the linguistic differentiation between regular Germanic speakers and North Germanic speakers around 200 AD. You nod your head, agreeing that all of this is both accurate and extremely interesting. While these three languages are generally supposed to be mutually intelligible, you find you can understand Norwegian speakers only if you're concentrating, which you are, and if they're speaking slowly and clearly, which they're not, as everyone is running around upset about war and all these things getting killed. All these kings getting killed. Oh great, it's like D&D all over again, no metagaming. Ironically, Norwegian speakers can understand Danish easier than Danish speakers understand Norwegian, but that doesn't help you much, because you're dead. That would only be useful if you were playing as a Norwegian king whose ghost had stowed away on your army's boat headed back to Denmark. But I haven't given you that option, even though it would be extremely awesome. If you're wondering what happens to this vengeful ghost king, I can tell you only this. The answer exists in your imagination. But here's the good news. It turns out written Danish and written Norwegian are actually pretty similar. So you spend the next several nights haunting people, quietly reading their diaries while they sleep peacefully in their beds. Or otherwise. And you don't know this, but ghosts do this all the time. Ghosts just love sneaking a peek at the secrets of the living. It takes a while, but you finally find the diary of someone who wrote on the day you died that she was wandering by a garden, minding her own business, when she saw some Danish guy pour something in some other Danish guy's ear. Hey, that sounds like what could have happened to you. But remember, you don't know that's exactly what happened to you because of that new irony we invented. Anyone knows what Rasta Fifi means? It's Swedish? I do not. What does that mean? Wake up this person and ask her about it, or wake up this person and hold up a piece of paper where you've written down the question asking her about it. The paper. You grab a piece of paper and write down the words, "Hey, I'm not here to kill you, I just want to know about that murder you maybe witnessed." But in Danish, of course. Ha. You gently shake the woman awake while holding the piece of paper up in front of her. She's freaked out initially. She was just woken up by a ghostly apparition from beyond the grave. But once she reads her note, she looks at you suspiciously and says, "For real?" You flip over the paper and write, "Yeah, I'm the guy who got killed maybe, and I guess I want to revenge my death or whatever. But please, speak slowly, as Norwegian is not my native language. I'm from Denmark." "Oh," the woman says in Danish, "I speak Danish too." "Kick ass," you reply. She tells you what she saw and gives you a physical description of the guy. Unfortunately, the man answering to her description could only be one person. Your brother, Claudius. Congratulations, my king. You now know what you know. So that whole second person pronoun paradoxical autodramatic irony thing has been slain. Plus 500 experience. New quest. Revenge yourself on Claudius. You're feeling pretty chuffed about this whole situation. Okay, let's revenge your death. Your murderer is getting away with it in Denmark. Oh shit. I can't wait to see what he's gonna do when he comes back and finds his wife marrying his brother. Swim back to Denmark or wait for the next boat? Swim, of course. It's like 200 kilometers between the two nations. You know that, right? Apparently not. So you start to swim back to Denmark, but it's a lot of work to keep your body corporeal so that you can swim, so eventually you get tired and stopped. For a while you float above the water, but that gets boring, so for the most of the journey you float down to the ocean floor and travel along it. So Rasta Fifi is slang in Swedish is sucking cook? It's slang for going pee-pee for a girl. Oh man, history lessons and language lessons here on Twitch. Hey, there's a sunken pirate ship down here. Hey, there might be a treasure in it. Examine pirate ship. Man, it's awesome, and it's so cool to be an underwater explorer who doesn't need to breathe. I mean, it's kind of hard to see things without a light source, but your ghostly body glows a little when you want it to, so it's not bad. The pirate ship itself seems recently sunk. There are bodies trapped below decks, and yeah, that's unpleasant. The ocean bacteria haven't really started decomposing them yet. Bodies, man. Being corporeal, man. I don't know. You find the treasure room and it's empty. It seemed like this ship was attacked, raided, and then sunk. Somewhere up above your head, sailing on the surface of the great ocean Atlantic, is a really tough pirate ship that's just looking for treasure and/or trouble. Too bad you're already dead, huh? But even if you were alive, and does a ghost need with money? But even if you were alive, what does a ghost need with money anyway? So I guess this has kind of been a pointless but still awesome endeavor. You explored the ocean bottom and found a sunken ship. Don't let anyone tell you that's not awesome. Okay. After several more days of very slow travel that we just skipped over because it got boring, you're back on Denmark's shores. Congratulations, under the sea. We explored a ship. You know what? Go back and explore the ocean some more. The ocean rules. Now let's go to Denmark. You make it back to Denmark. The first thing you want to do is track down your brother to take revenge. Turns out that's really easy because he's in the first place you check, the royal court. He's there with your widow, Gertrude. Weird. They're acting all close and stuff. Oh well, he's probably just trying to comfort her after your old untimely death. Ha! Brothers are great. Though, maybe not. Listen on what they're saying, or ignore what they're saying. I'm certain there's nothing untoward going on. Let's do the first one, of course. Tunnel snakes rule. Hey Gertrude, says Claudius. I sure am happy that we married each other, even if it was so soon after your first husband died under mysterious circumstances. Whoa, that certainly was, in terms of exposition, a very efficient sentence. You decide instantly that your initial revenge plan, which was haunt a mirror so that instead of Claudius' reflection he sees you, and then you mirror his movement so he's not really sure what's going on, tee-hee, is needlessly complex and stupid. Dude killed you and married your widow. Since you are from olden times, you have an extremely old-fashioned sense of ownership over female sexuality, so this really gets stuck in your craw. Anyone know what Acorn just asked you to do in Swedish? She's hereby a suspect transvestite because of the Rasa Fifi. Instead of spooking Claudius, you decide to kill Claudius, complete the quest, or get your son to kill Claudius instead. You know, we might have some problems with our hands being like all not corporeal and stuff, so we're gonna get our son in on the murder. Okay. Why? Because then he'll have sullied his hands with murder, and better for someone new to be forced to commit the murder act than for me to do it myself for some reason. Oh yeah, wait, this is dumb. I'm already dead and invisible and I can fly. I guess I'll just do it myself. Yeah, this one. This is awesome! It's going to go great because who better to know how to kill someone than someone who has recently been through that getting killed to death process themselves. You wait till Claudius is sleeping next to your widow, then wake him up by tapping him on the forehead a bit. Hey, it's me, you whisper. Your brother, the one you murdered. Aw, crap, Claudius whispers back. Ghosts are real? Real pissed at you anyway, you reply. Listen, I'll cut to the chase. We are from a time where an eye for an eye is considered to be a good thing to build a justice system around, so I am here to kill you. How? Claudius asks, his eyes wide, terrified. Ah, geez, so many ways, you say, counting them off on your fingers. I could startle you and make you have a heart attack, but that takes time. I could throw a pot at your head until you die, but that lacks grace. Instead, check this out. You move your body, your ghost body, so it's floating right above Claudius. He stares at you, his eyes wide. I'm sorry, he whispers. Too late for that, you reply. You lower yourself to him, face to face, and keep going. His face dominates your field of vision, and then you're inside his skull, inside the pink of his brain, his blood darkly obscuring your sight. You sink slowly deeper and deeper into him, lining up your ghostly body with his regular body until you are just about occupying exactly the same space. Then you make yourself corporeal. What happens next happens so quickly and with such force that it's hard to describe, but Claudius explodes everywhere, captures most of it. I mean, you're fine, but man, this is disgusting. Literally disgusting. Gertrude wakes up, dripping in gore, screaming. You, my friend, have achieved revenge. You roll over onto your back and apologize to Gertrude. You explain over her screams what happened, and you tell her that you still love her even though she married your brother mere weeks after you died. Meanwhile, gore and blood is everywhere. We have painted the room red. But you can't be with her anymore, you say. You tell her you need to go find your own path. While she's screaming, I'm sure. Sorry about the bed, you say, floating up through the roof. You spend the rest of the afterlife acting as an immortal judge from beyond the grave, exploding those who have committed the most egregious crimes, merely blowing the hands off those who have been awful people but still, you feel, deserve a second chance. People whisper your name in fear. Criminals are a cowardly, superstitious lot, after all, and it works out pretty good for you. You do a lot of good for a lot of people. And yep, turns out that by blowing up bad guys never does get old. The end. Oh, nice! Congratulations, guys. We committed murder. Lovely. Lovely. The end! The end. You found a piece of artwork. Wow. Here we go, our Hamlometer again. Let's see what we're gonna get. You done diz the thing. We done diz the murders. What the fuck is going on in this game? This is terrifying. We're just, you know, experiencing some Shakespeare. Oh, we got not to be. Game over. What are our stats? Poisons misused, 1. Choices made, 13. Times you were, 0. Times you were not, 1. Congratulations, guys. Alright, so at this point, let me just go over here. So the next one's going to be To the Moon, which is, from what I understand, a pretty story-centric game. So now that we've gone through 2 scenarios, we technically have 20 more minutes left on our hour for this game. But if you guys want, we can go on to the Moon. I'll leave it up to you. Do we want to try Ophelia from the beginning, go through all 3, or do we want to go on to the next game? I'll leave it in your hands, guys. Let me know. To the Moon is so sad. We were Hamlet and Hamlet Sr. One vote for next game, 1 vote for one more of this. Confetti makes this. What do the rest of you guys think? Ophelia is the only character we haven't played from the beginning, so it could be cool to see what she has. Yeah, 1 for next game, 1 for this game. No, I mean, it said we were not to be. we were not twice. So what were we not? You vote Ophelia? Alright, let's just go for Ophelia. Restart the adventure. Go Ophelia? Alright. We're gonna be kick-ass lady. Nope. Thank you. Choose our character. Okay, here we go. Play as Ophelia. Right. You're Ophelia. Oh wait, no, we were. Didn't we? Wait. I think we did do Ophelia. No, we were Ophelia. That was a really, really quick one. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go through Ophelia, but we will choose a different option. But I want to know what we will be. I want to be too. We were Ophelia, but we were all of them. Oh, that's why. You guys are right. We did start as Hamlet, then we got taken over by Ophelia. So, let's go back to checkpoints. Would you choose your character? Yes. Take me to where I choose my character. So we will be Hamlet, but we'll pick something different. Because I think his was the really fast one. Yeah. Roxy, rip Ophelia. Rip. Alright, so yeah, we're Hamlet, we're 30 years old, we're back living at home, but it's okay because we're friends. You know, we were at university, came back home, our mom totally just married our uncle, and it's all kinds of weird. We have our friends here. Alright, gonna hold our tongue and just wait around. We're gonna choose everything we didn't choose last time. So, we're in I think the throne room, and we're listening to people talking about going to another place. Hey, Cisco! Hey, welcome! Rip, Ophelia. Born hype! Alright, you stay silent, but King Claudius addresses you anyway. He says he's king now, and it's time for you to stop mourning, as your father is dead and everyone has to die sometime, right? Man up, he says. Walk it off, he says. Drop me a letter about it at Not My Problem, #1, Cheer Up Already Lane, Dopesville, Denmark, he says. Your mom agrees with him, and then, when they're done insulting you, they leave. You kind of wish you'd insulted them when you had the chance. In the meantime, you're alone in an empty council room and feeling pretty sad. An empty room offers a ton of possibilities, which include things you can do inside this empty room, such as... Oh, exciting. Talk to yourself about how your life is in ruins and how everything just sucks. Leave the room, or you're finally home and it's been weeks since you embarked. Sit on the throne as the Prince of Denmark. You know, I think whining sounds good. Let's whine. Okay, you talk out loud to the empty room, and what do you say? I'll tell you what you say. You say you wish your skin could literally melt off your body, revealing a skeleton that gives a double thumbs up before crumbling into dust. You say that you thought your mom really loved your dad, but now that she's married Claudius less than a month after dad's death, either love itself is fake or she was faking love. Either way, it doesn't matter because you've lost faith in your own mother. You say to the empty room in all the seriousness you want to kill yourself. Whoa, bro. This book just got real. Let's not kill ourselves. While you're busy doing that, your friend Horatio bumps into you and tells you, A, he's in town for your dad's funeral / your mom's wedding, and they serve leftover appetizers from one at the other. B, ghosts are real. C, he's seen one, and so have a bunch of other guys. And D, they keep showing up at the same time, and he's pretty sure the ghost is of your dad. Finally, some adventure, some closure. You agree that you'll come with him tonight to see the ghost when it shows up again. It's such an obvious decision that it kind of feels like you don't even have a choice in the matter. So last time, we went and did Ophelia. So this time, we're going to agree, and then we're going to kill time. We're going to play solitaire. You, Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, are now sitting in your bedroom and playing solitaire for hours and hours and hours and hours, which is a pretty colossally useless waste of your time, especially since you keep cheating. A 5 goes on top of a 3, Hamlet? Really? Anyway, at this point we're 15 games in, and wow, if you're not careful, people might start saying that your tragic flaw is, I don't know, inaction? Congratulations, inaction man. Acorn, acorn, where art thou, acorn? Asketh doggy at thy window. That's cute. Wherefore art thou, Romeo? I like that, Romy. Oh. Eventually the sun goes down, and it's almost 11:30, which hopefully you remember as the appointed hour Horatio told you about, wherein a ghost keeps showing up to bother him. Time to go meet that ghost, huh? Meet up with Horatio and bust some myths about actual ghosts being real. Romy, oh. Rufy, oh. Okay. You and Horatio go to where he saw the ghost the first time. Now we play the waiting game, says Horatio. He's interrupted by the sound of trumpets. You look at him and raise an eyebrow. They make that noise to warn everyone that King Claudius is getting wasted, he says. Those trumpets go off every night around this time. He sighs. Denmark, he says. At that exact moment, something insanely crazy happens. What the frig? I'll tell you what the frig! A ghost is here! Look, ghost. Don't freak out, but right now you're staring cold in the face of a specter. You can't even imagine how crazy this whole situation is. If you're getting too scared, read this next clause over and over until you're not insane with fear anymore. Everything will be okay. Alright, okay, we can do this. With your last shred of sanity, you quickly glance at the ghost. And then you worry that if you stare at the ghost too hard, your brain will realize it's looking at something so insanely impossible that you'll just black out. Anyway, this ghost. You can see through it, but only a little? It's weird. And I'll tell you what the frig else. This ghost does look like your dad, and he's getting closer. What now? Juliet, oh. Spaghetti, ohs. Acorn, no. Cheerio, oh god, guys. Hey, TTK! Stare at the ghost intently and black out as your mind shuts down. Don't stare at the ghost too intently and try to figure out what it wants, or run away. I feel like this is the more useful option. We're gonna go with this. Are you my dad? I mean, my ghost dad? You ask the ghost, but it says nothing. Instead, the ghost beckons to you. He clearly wants you to follow him and leave Horatio behind. I don't know, is this safe? Can ghosts kill people? Can ghosts kill people? You ask Horatio. I don't know, man, but I really don't think you should be alone with that thing, he says, clearly leaving no ball untripped in his own freak out. Hamlet, man, something is rotten in the state of Denmark, I gotta say, he yells, his quivering finger pointing at the ghost. Well, duh. I'm gonna do it, you say. And you? What now? Follow the ghost into the darkness? Go on to say, by that I mean I'm gonna take this last chance to run for it. Nah, we're gonna go for it. You follow the ghost into the mist. After walking for what seems like forever, you get tired of walking. I'm tired of walking, you say. You sit down. Pretty sure I'm done walking. Yeah, I'm out. The ghost stops and speaks to you for the first time, its voice issuing forth from lungs that no longer breathe air. Hamlet, it is I, your father. Look, I can't stay around here forever, but you need to listen to what I tell you. I didn't die of old age. I did some digging around, and it turns out I was murdered by Claudius. You gasp, shocked and enraged, killed by his own brother. He did it while I slept. I was walking in the garden, and you know how gardens are really boring, right? You nod. They're boring even for people who like them. Exactly, says Ghost Dad. Well, it was so boring, I fell asleep, and while I was sleeping, he poured poison in my ear. I didn't know poisons work that way, you say. That's what I said, shouts your dad, throwing his fist above his head in frustration. He starts to pace back and forth. Anyway, I want you to take revenge on him for me. I don't know, cuss him out or something. Pull out his chair when he's about to sit down. Offer him a high five, but then when he goes for a high five, pull your hand away and say, too slow. Or should he offer you a high five, you must leave him hanging. I could murder him, you offer. After all, he is sleeping with Mom. Your dad stops pacing and stares at you. He's what? What now? Tell him they got married 2 weeks after the funeral. Tell him, nah, you were just kidding. Yeah, we're gonna go with this. You say they got married basically right after the funeral, and that makes Claudius king now. You explain how maybe it's not technically incest, but the timing alone sure feels squicky. Didn't he ever read the tales of kindred and affinity wherein whosoever are related are forbidden in scripture and are lost to marry together? Asks your dad. Ah, you say. You refer to the document Queen Elizabeth ordered produced, which says a marriage such as this one we're discussing is not just squicky, but a real-life hardcore sin against God, a book which later made its way into the Book of Common Prayer. Itself so influential that we take many phrases such as till death do us part and peace in our time from it. The very same, nods your father. Although I can imagine that in the future sentiments might change. As to whether or not such a marriage between genetically unrelated, loving, and consenting adults is among the very worst things it is possible for a human being to do, that's not necessary for us to discuss right now. You agree. Anyway, says your dad, kill Claudius for me, cool? Promise a ghost you'll commit murder, or promise a ghost you'll commit murder in the classiest verse you can come up with. Classiest verse we can come up with, of course. You clear your throat, hold one hand open in the air in front of you, and promise a ghost that you will kill an alive human. This is what you say. Yea, from the very table... Wait, we're starting over. Yea, from the table of my memory, I'll wipe away all trivial fond records. All saw of books, all forms, all pressures past, that youth and observation copied there. And thy commandment alone, all alone shall live, within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter, yes, by heaven. Your ghost dad seems pretty cool with that. New quest, kill Claudius, worth 3,500 experience. Oh god. That's a lot! What now? Leave it there and return to Horatio? Or throw in a little sexism for good measure? Why not? Oh, most pernicious woman, you add, insulting not only Queen Gertrude, the woman your father adored, loved, and married, but also all women in general. Science Corner! Synonyms for pernicious. Pernicious include noxious and pestilent, and the word itself suggests that long-term harm comes from being in contact with whatever it is it's being used to describe. The more you know. Stay classy, Hamlet. Leave it there and return to Horatio. You walk back to where Horatio is waiting for you. Listen, Horatio, never speak of this whole we totally saw a ghost thing, okay? We've got to keep it a secret. That's cool, says Horatio. No, I'm serious, man, you say, grabbing his shoulders. Some really serious stuff is going to go down, and I need you to keep this a secret. Swear that you'll never talk about this. I swear it, says Horatio. Swear it, booms your dad's voice out of nowhere. He already did, you shout. God, Dad. Horatio looks at you, questioning. Hamlet, bro, what's all this about, he says. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, you begin, than are dreamt of in my philosophy, Horatio finishes, annoyed. Fine, right, whatever. Okay, Horatio will keep your secret and you've got a quest for ghosts to fulfill. And at the end, he'll probably give you some cool loot for completing it. Maybe? I mean, it's possible. It is a quest. Hang on a second, what are we saying? So many long words. It's okay, we got translations, Crystal Wolf. Okay. Anyway, it's past midnight and Claudius is probably falling down drunk. What now? Go home for nappy times, or say goodbye to Horatio and go kill Claudius? You know, let's just get to the action. Let's just go for it. You wait until it's 2 a.m., planning to sneak into Claudius's room and give him the old stabby stab. But on your way there, you find him passed out in the hallway. There's a bottle of booze in his hand. He really is a cartoon drunk. This is gonna be real easy. You hold your hand over his mouth so he can't scream and slit his throat. He's dead within a minute. Ta-da! You leave quietly, making sure not to be seen, and head down to the shore to wash your blood-soaked hands and your blood-soaked clothes. The ocean water cleans off the blood quickly, which is great, because you heard it was hard to get out. Get out! Because you heard it was hard to get out. Damn blood spots. Oh god, if you guys don't know, that's a Macbeth reference with Lady Macbeth. It's amazing, I love it. It turns out, nope, it's actually really easy. You're glad you stayed cool and rational and didn't freak out at all during the process. Good job, champ! You walk home in your wet clothes, change into adorable pajamas, get into bed, and fall asleep. Content in the knowledge that you were right to murder a dude and that you even had supernatural forces on your side, your dreams are generally peaceful. There's some sex stuff in there too, but whatever man, it happens. Don't even worry about it, it's honestly not a big deal. In the morning, you act super surprised Claudius got killed to death. What? You say, waving your hands in the air? Come to think of it, it was probably a little much, but everyone bought it, so few. And then later you become king. And check it, your economic policies are both wise and fair, and your country becomes way prosperous. Due to economics not being a zero-sum game, you not only make the lives of your subjects better, but you actually improve the lives of those they trade with, too. Hamlet, you've literally made the world a better place. Nice. And all you had to do was kill a human being. The end. Perfect timing, it's 7:58. 2 minutes till. P.S. Oh, I meant to mention it sooner, but one day you step on a butterfly that has a cascade effect of preventing not only one, but 2 worldwide wars from occurring centuries down the line. So, good job all around, I'd say. Keep on killing everyone who interferes with your preferred version of history, I'd say. Congratulations, you were really terrific at being Hamlet. The end. For real this time. Da-da-da-da! Oh my god, this is great. That was awesome. Alright, let's do the Hamlet meter. Did we be or did we not be this time? We shall see. Ta-da! You just murdered somebody. Yeah. We murdered our murderous, sort of ancestral uncle. So, you know, morally, I think we have the high ground. Cold fish. We got cold fish this time, guys. Game over. You start your Stasis adventure. Poisons misused, still 1. Misused. Choices made, 15. Times you were, 1. Times you were not, 0. We were, guys! We were! We were this time. Times borrowing / lending, 0. Excellent! Show me the credits. So guys, that is To Be or Not to Be. If you are a fan of literature or Shakespeare, I highly recommend you get this game because as you can see, there are lots of funny things you can do, and there are 110 different endings. We only saw, what, 3 or 4 of them. So, Ryan North was a creator. Like I said, he got this funded on Kickstarter in the first place, and now it has come to Steam, so you can get it there. Looks like we have lots of credits to go through, so anyway, we're gonna... Oh, okay, well, sure, we'll just keep going through this. I don't see any other buttons. Also, I'm just going to do another shout out. Kate Beaton, Hark a Vagrant is her online comic. Please go check it out. It is really funny if you're even like moderately interested in satire or history. Once again, the Booth, the Hamlet Booth comic is my favorite. Makes me laugh every time. Soliloquy. So good. How long are these credits? I might just want to like tab out. There we go. There we go. Ooh, Shakespeare. Shakespeare. Alright. Esoteric debug information. Okay, restart the adventure.